Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. I'm Mitchell.
And I'm Coty.
Today we have a very special guest. His name is Lionel Johnson. They finally released his datasheet. They've been doing some previews about his sword and his shield and all that stuff, but they finally put out the whole thing, and it's pretty gross.
Yeah, here it is.
Have you read it yet?
I have not actually. I have seen the abilities, but I have not read them in depth. Forest Walk gave me a chuckle because it's like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
if your opponent plays any forests, he can't be blocked.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
If he's against Sylvaneth, he just walks right over him.
Yep.
We saw most of his rules. They did a pretty good job of previewing him. There's only a few things that we didn't see. So let's go down the sheet. He has a special plasma pistol that is normally, I guess it's a combi plasma because it's a bolt/plasma.
Yeah, Azrael has something similar,
Oh, yeah?
except it's just a bolt. It's not a pistol.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's pistol 2, strength 4, AP 1, 2 damage, which is pretty good for just a regular pistol. And then the plasma is pistol 1, strength 8, AP 4, 2 damage. Kind of wish it was 3 damage, but I guess I'm being a little greedy there.
Yeah. Maybe you can
decent
overcharge.
pistol. Yeah, you can't overcharge. It's already overcharged. But it's a decent pistol. It's not why you're bringing him, but it's not terrible for a ranged option. His melee weapon though is actually gross. We've already seen this. They previewed this already. So he has 10 attacks in his profile.
I see that.
That's so gross. He has the strike and the sweep. The strike is +4 strength, so it's strength 10, AP 5, 4 damage.
That's disgusting.
It's so gross. And the sweep is strength 6, AP 3, 2 damage, but you get to make 2 hit rolls instead of 1.
Still disgusting.
So he's rolling 20 attacks hitting on 2s.
Yeah. Obviously more if he charges and so on.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, he has 11 and 12 attacks. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So he has 11 attacks, so he would roll 22 dice on the sweep.
And then I think Dark Angels have some other melee stuff, too, that you might be able to...
Yeah, he does get the chapter tactics if you're Dark Angels.
Yeah.
And it is, obviously, in the new Grand Tournament pack, you can take... I was going to say Primaris. Technically Primaris. You can take Primarchs. That's what it is. You can take Primarchs in any Space Marine detachment. They just don't get the rules of the detachment.
Yeah, but you get the rules of the Primarch in your detachment, which can be pretty great. I've seen some goofy lists with Gilliman, but...
Gilliman is strangely kind of sort of more of a buff bot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where he just stands and gives full rerolls to stuff. But Lionel is an absolute monster.
Yeah, he looks like a wrecker.
Yeah.
Just actually reading Forest Walk, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of seems like a forward deploy, I guess.
Yeah, during deployment, you can set him in the shadowed path instead of setting him up on the battlefield. If you do, during the reinforcement step, set him up. Oh, okay, so it's kind of like a deep strike, or the 9 inches away from enemy models, and until the end of the turn, he can reroll charges. Yeah, he basically just gets a free deep strike.
He basically gets a deep strike. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not even like a what is it called, where they come on the board edge.
Reserves.
It's not even reserves. He just comes in wherever he wants as long as he's more than 9 away.
Yeah, and then he gets to re-roll charges from that too. So comes in 9 inches away from your enemy's big bad, and he can re-roll a charge. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. His shield gives a 4-up invuln. I mean, if he didn't have a 4-up invuln, I'd be surprised. Each time a saving throw is made for the model against this attack.
A melee attack.
Against a melee attack. On an unmodified roll of a 6, the attacking model suffers 1 mortal wound after all of the models have finished making their attacks to a maximum of 3 per phase. So he splashes some mortal wounds back from his invuln save. Not terrible. Just some chip damage. The max he can do is 3, so it's not going to do too much.
I mean, that's still 3 damage from nothing. That's pretty crazy.
If he attacks and then brings something real low, that might be able to kill it, which is not bad. Speaking of him attacking, at the start of the fight phase, if a model is engaged within engagement range of enemy models, it fights first. He just always has fight first. That's gross.
That's
He didn't need that, guys. Come on.
That's a command point for like anything else in this game.
That's 2
and
command points.
He just oh yeah, it's 2, and he just gets it.
Yep.
He just
that's how good of a swordsman he is he's gonna punch you first.
He woke up on the wrong side of the bed apparently.
Yep. He has an aura, friendly Dark Angel's core, and Dark Angel's character units, which does include himself. Within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of a 1 and wound roll of a 1. So, hit and wound of a 1 on himself.
Yeah.
And any Dark Angels you take, so if you are Dark Angels. Because in the current mission pack, you can't take a supplemental detachment of Dark Angels if you're not Dark Angels.
Right, yeah.
Because it would have to be Agency Imperium or one of the other ones that they can take. So he's going to give this to himself in any other army, but he gives a massive buff to Dark Angels. The Watchers in the Dark is cool. We hadn't seen this one yet. Twice per game, this model can attempt to deny the witch as though it were a Psyker. If the model attempting to manifest a power is a Chaos Psyker, you can reroll the deny. So that's just free denies.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be against Chaos, they're better denies.
That's even better, yeah.
That's so gross.
Yeah,
As a Chaos player, I don't like that.
Yeah, like Azrael's little helper guy has a deny on it, and this guy just gets it again. He just gets
it's the Watchers in the Darks are the guys that are on his base carrying stuff, so it's the same thing.
That's
Apparently
true.
they're anti-psychic. Lionel doesn't care.
Yeah. He's not about all that wizard stuff.
Nope. If your army's battle forward, this model must be your Warlord. If more than one model in your army has this effect, one of them must be your Warlord, blah, blah, blah. And has the following Warlord trait. In your opponent's movement phase, select one friendly Dark Angels unit within 9 inches of this Warlord. Again, he can pick himself. Until the end of the turn, that unit is eligible to perform heroic intervention as though it were a character unit and eligible to perform a heroic intervention if it's within 6 and 5 vertically, rather than 3. And you can move that model up to 6 inches. So he gets a bigger heroic intervention, or you can make any Dark Angel get heroic intervention.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. He's 320 points,
320
which I
points.
believe is the same as Gilliman. I have his data sheet right here. I'm totally not stalling for time while I put in my code.
It's also important to note that he has 16 power.
Yep, 16 power.
That's super relevant.
Gilliman is currently 19 power, but only 300 points.
Oh, wow.
So he's higher power but lower points for some reason.
Well, I guess that's why they're getting rid of power, because it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
But yeah, so he is a little bit more expensive than Gilliman, which makes sense.
Yeah, he's a beat stick, and he still does have some nice buffs and boons, auras.
He has Inner Circle. I think that means he has -1 damage. Because I'm pretty sure the Inner Circle rule for Dark Angels says -1 damage.
Really?
It's either -1 damage or transhuman all the time. It's one of those two.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's gross. Okay, I found it. Deathwing and Inner Circle units in Dark Angels detachments that do not already have Inner Circle gain the Inner Circle ability. And then the Inner Circle ability says... So it's a rule that says it gains a rule. Woo. Yeah, each time an attack is made against this unit, if the unit has the infantry keyword... Does he have the infantry keyword? No, he's a monster.
Okay, yeah. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Unless it has vehicle... If you select him to fall back, roll 2d6. If the result is less than their leadership, they cannot fall back. It must remain stationary. So the only thing he gains from that is they can't fall back from him without taking a leadership test. Okay. If he had transhuman all the time, I would be... he would be ridiculous. He's already pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean...
But
he's the price of a knight.
He is the price of a knight for a single model.
Yeah.
With 9 wounds, which is important because he can be character blocked.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, okay. So I was a little worried that he would have transhuman. But yeah, he looks kind of real good, and the fact that I can use him in Space Wolves makes me kind of want to put him in Space Wolves.
Right?
Yeah, I know he doesn't get
I mean, you lose some of the good stuff, like taking him in another, but he's just such a cool model.
I mean, he gives himself rerolls. He is a huge beat stick.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, because I'm a Space Wolfy Wolf, and I want to punch things in the face real hard.
Same, except I'm red and more angelic.
Red and thirsty.
Yes.
Anyway, if you like Lionel Johnson or his I'm gonna go with Baby Brother because he looks baby faced compared to Lionel. Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe because I'm gonna start saying that in every video now. Until next time, I'm Mitchell.
And I've been Coty.
Bye.
Bye.